ever meet a black man that's so anti-black you just feel like it's a setup? That's Clarence Thomas, the longest-serving judge on the Supreme Court, and the one most committed to rolling back the very rights that allowed him to rise. And his wife? That's the kind of white woman that's every black woman's worst nightmare. But we'll get to her. So let's start at the beginning. Clarence Thomas was born in 1948 in Pinpoint, Georgia, dirt poor and Jim Crow raised. He grew up speaking Gullah, was raised Catholic, went to seminary, and almost became a priest. But racism followed him everywhere until he flipped. And I don't mean flipped the system, I mean flipped on us. By the time he reached Yale Law School, he started to resent affirmative action. Not the racism that made it necessary, but the fact that white folks assumed he didn't belong. Instead of challenging them, he decided to join them. And in the 1980s, he got cozy with the conservatives. Reagan appointed him to the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. But instead of protecting black workers, this man gutted the very civil rights regulations that he was hired to enforce. Then George H.W. Bush made... Sorry, you can't make this shit up. Then George H.W. Bush made him a Supreme Court justice in 1991. They call it replacing Thurgood Marshall, but he's no replacement. He took the seat. And that's when Anita Hill happened. A brilliant black woman came forward, under oath, and told the Senate Judiciary Committee that Clarence Thomas sexually harassed her at work. He turned around and called it high-tech lynching, thereby weaponizing black pain to cover his own misconduct. And America let him do it. He got confirmed. And ever since, he's been on a mission to dismantle every bit of progress that we've ever made. So, what has he done since he's been sitting on the bench? He voted to gut the Voting Rights Act. He voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. He wants to challenge birth control, gay marriage, and privacy rights. He openly signaled that he'd reverse Brown v. Board if he could twist the logic. And through it all, he barely talks. He lets his rulings do the damage. So let's talk corruption. This man has accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars in luxury trips, yacht rides, and tuition payments for his grandnephew, all from conservative billionaire Harlan Crow. He never disclosed them. He said he didn't think he had to. This is the same man who thinks that poor black people should pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Fuck you, Clarence. Now let's talk about Ginny Thomas, his wife, the far-right activist who's literally involved in the January 6th coup attempt. She texted Mark Meadows telling him to stop the steal. She lobbied lawmakers to overturn Biden's win. And she's been a paid operative for some of the most dangerous conservative movements in America. This is the type of woman that'll call the cops on your kid and then cry in court. The type of woman who marries a black man and then thinks it makes her immune. And the type that black women clock instantly. Clarence Thomas is just proof that not every black face in power is for the people. He is the system, wearing our skin. And the longer he sits on that bench, the more damage he does. Not just to black folks, but to anybody who thought that the Constitution was actually a guarantee. Because Clarence Thomas is not fighting for justice. He's fighting for revenge. And unfortunately, we're the collateral.